Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel. Today I'm focusing on a movie recap. I'm focusing on the movie The Return of Beyonce. So buckle up, grab your popcorn, grab something to drink. If you smoke, grab that, as we're going to dive into this crazy movie, The Return of Beyonce.
Nice try, sweetie.
I'll send you a copy. Welcome back, Roger.
Good to see an old brother around here.
Yes, of course it is.
Did you see that movie, Night of the Living Dead?
I don't think I want either of those things.
The movie starts off with a montage of things that happened in the previous movie, and one of the things that is in it is focusing on Beyonce getting shot at their wedding. Now, Raj wakes up from a dream, and the dream is him seeing Beyonce get shot. My thing about that dream when I first watched this movie, was that all in his head in the last movie, or did that actually happen? Now we will dive into that a little bit later on the events of the whole wedding situation, because I still think it's crazy that he decided to be with Beyonce knowing that she's killed the love of his life, and also Debbie. The movie cuts over to Raj and Bobby talking. I thought they were going to be talking about what happened with Beyonce, but instead they're talking about what happened with Ciara and Debbie at the hospital. I was able to put two to two together and figure out that this is taking place before the events of Raj and Beyonce getting married, but also after the events of Ciara being announced dead and Beyonce was there to witness it. The doctor walks in there and he's talking to them about relocating the bodies because they don't have enough space for the bodies, and he's also discussing about funeral arrangements so they can expedite everything for him. Raj ends up pulling up to Beyonce's house because he's under the impression that Beyonce got Ciara killed, which is true. She sent out the hit. We all seen it. Beyonce is denying the claim for some reason. I'm like, just own up to it. She kept saying that she had no idea what he was talking about and that she didn't want to see him anymore, which was weird for me to hear her say, because wasn't the whole premise of the movies was you wanting to get Raj no matter what? But now you're saying you don't want anything to do with him and for him to get off of your property, and he's asking her to kill him. It was a wild scene to watch. She's talking about how he's hurting her feelings, but like, girl, you killed the love of his life, so you don't really have a leg to stand on at this point.
Raj, in the name of everything we've shared, trust me, I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what I'm talking about? You ordered the shooting of Ciara and her sister. You did. You murdered them both.
You know, this is the second time you're accusing me of something I know nothing of. You're really pushing me to my limits.
What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? Oh, you're going to shoot me too? Shoot me!
Raj is better than me because I feel like at that point I would have been like, what's your daddy's number? I'm about to call him. What's your dad's number? I'm calling him right now to inform him on the craziness that you're doing. Or better yet, I would have called your competition, because I know you're trying to get involved with politics and the government. I would have called your adversaries and just let them know that what you're doing, and have them plaster a slander campaign on you, because you got me so fucked up. The movie cuts over focusing on Raj's mother and sister. They're having a conversation regarding the whole Ciara stuff, and the sister even says something along the lines of like, Mom, did you know that Ciara was alive? And her mom was like, no, I had no idea. And she's like, I'm just hoping that you didn't have a hand in this, because the sister was scared. And I don't blame her for being scared, but she could have kept that same energy in the first two movies, honestly. If she would have kept the same energy in the first two movies, a lot of this could have been avoided. But instead, you and Raj's mother, or your mom, was money hungry and after Beyonce's money. So what Beyonce's father said later on, like, it was not necessarily a direct read to Raj, but like an indirect read to his family, because Raj didn't want to be with Beyonce for the money. after rewatching these first 3 movies. Raj is laying down in his bed. He's still upset about the whole Ciara situation, so we're still within the timeline of events taking place before Beyonce and him get married, right? He's still upset about what's happened with Ciara. His mother comes into the room at some point. They're going back and forth because Raj tells her straight up, finally he says this, he finally tells her that she's money hungry and that's what's corrupted her mind.
What more do you want from me? Isn't the death of Ciara good enough for you and Beyonce? Isn't it? Is that not what you wanted? Just because of the love of money and power?
It wasn't my fault.
And whose fault was it? Was it my fault? I just hope that you have nothing to do with the death of Ciara. I swear, I'm gonna do something really nasty.
Which I'm glad he finally said it, but like still you decided to go after Beyonce after announcing that information to your mother. So was she really the only one that was money hungry? Because I mean, I get it, you're lonely and like Beyonce's low-key there, but you know Beyonce did everything, so why would you feel the need to get married to the woman that put out the hit on Ciara? I don't care what she says. She can tell me all day, every day that she didn't do it and she didn't put out the hit, but who else would have sent out a hit on you and Beyonce, not you and Beyonce, but on you and Ciara? Like it didn't make sense. And I will talk about that like a little bit later in the movie. The movie cuts over to the funeral being held for Debbie and Ciara. Everybody's crying, everybody's there, you know. But I guess who also decides to pull up? Of course, Beyonce. When she pulled up to the funeral, I'm like, girl, was you being there when Ciara died, was that not enough for you? Like, you were a witness to her death earlier in the movie with the doctor, so was that not enough evidence for you, knowing that Ciara was dead? You just had to go see her getting buried in the grave. Beyonce leaves with her security guard. Raj, I still feel like Raj was trying to off himself and Bobby, and I'm still mad at Bobby, and like I feel like I'm bullying Bobby at this point of these 3 movies because every time Bobby pops up in the scene, Bobby always catches a stray from me. Bobby just be making me so mad because he's telling Raj like, oh, Ciara would hate to see you like this, and you can be with Beyonce, just give Beyonce a chance. And it's like, Bobby, you've been here since day 1. You've seen the craziness that I had to go through with Beyonce. You see now that Debbie and Ciara are both gone, but you're not putting 2 to 2 together that this potentially might be because of Beyonce. And now that I do think about it, where was Bobby in the midst of everything that was happening? When Raj announced that they was all going to Canada and they was all shopping and they had like the visas and the passports like ready to go, where was Bobby during all of that? Like, Bobby was nowhere to be found when he was making plans with Ciara. So like, I know somebody in my comment section of my older video was telling me that it's true, Raj's mother failed him, which I do agree with because she wanted him to chase after Beyonce so hard. But also Bobby, as his best friend, failed him too because he jumped on the same bandwagon with the family. So everybody failed Raj. They should have just told him, leave Beyonce alone, go be with Ciara, and get out of here while you still can. I just also want to say, when he said that Ciara would hate to see him like this, yes, she would, but she would not appreciate the fact that you are telling him to go after Beyonce because she would not want that. Very quickly, I'm going to go over this portion of the video. So it looks like it didn't record, so I'm going to quickly go over this. So after the scene with him and Bobby in the car and he's trying to off himself in the car, the movie cuts over to Raj being at home, upset, and his sister and mother walks in on him. His mother is trying to convince him to be with Beyonce and that Beyonce is his true love, but he makes it very clear that he wants nothing to do with Beyonce and he wants to be left alone. They won't leave him alone, so he gets up and leaves the room. The movie cuts again, focusing on a conversation between Beyonce and Bobby. Beyonce gave this man $5,000. Who is she not giving money to? He takes the $5,000 and Beyonce wants him to help her rekindle things with Raj and make sure that they're on the same path again. I don't know why this portion didn't record, but just throwing that out there that this happens before the upcoming events. The movie cuts over to these two girls get into an argument. The girl who cuts off the other car, her name was Doris, but the girl who she was confronting, I don't even know if her name was announced. I can't even tell you really what was going on. I feel like they was having an argument about the girl who she was confronting stole her boyfriend or something like that. I'll put the clip here.
What's the meaning of this? I was giving you the false confidence. Is it money?
So you now have the guts to talk back at me, bitch? I show you the ropes, and you now think you know enough to step on my toes?
Because I've heard that over and over again. And you're now sounding like a broken record plate. And I don't know what you're doing with that monk you call a boyfriend. Girl, your taste is dropping.
You bloody what?
Dare touch me with those filthy hands of yours, and I bet you rot in jail.
But I just want to say, like, I feel like this could have been a deleted scene. Like, it really, to me, it felt like a filler from an anime that didn't need to be in there. Because I feel like this scene alone doesn't add anything to the actual story. Now, Beyonce decides to pull up on Raj her damn self. She apologizes to him. She says that she loves him. And he wants her to get out of the room and leave him alone. He wants something to do with her because he is under the impression that she sent out the hit on Ciara and Debbie.
I didn't kill her. Raj, I swear to God, if you dare walk out on me, I'll kill myself, Raj.
You won't do it.
Raj!
Which she did. We all saw the scene. Do I need to like put the scene here as if we're at a reunion and they just pop in the screen and be like, oh no, you actually did say this. Here is unaired footage.
Take a look.
Pius, I want that girl dead. Okay? I want to see her blood on your hands. Yes, Ciara.
Raj starts to leave the room. Beyonce tries to off herself, which is crazy. Manipulation tactic, of course. You know the part in the Polar Express where it's like they were rewinding security tapes and it was this boy saying, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
That was Beyonce during this entire scene of her trying to convince Raj she had nothing to do with Ciara dying. She's like, Raj, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. I had nothing to do with it. They finally go out. They are going shopping, I believe, and then they end up going to dinner, and then ultimately they end up kissing. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the events of all of this is a year after Ciara was dead. I feel like Bobby said it, or either Beyonce said it at some point in the movie that it's been 1 year. Not even that. I think his mom said it. I think his mom ended up saying it. When she had that second conversation with him in the room with his sister, I feel like she was like, it's been 1 year. So all of this is happening a year later. Fast forward a little bit, Raj and Beyonce decides to visit his mother. This is the scene that I was talking about. They were dating for about a year at this point. So they're having a conversation with his mother. I forget what they were talking about. I think it has something to do with like a contract. And also they was keeping them up in the air about when they was going to get married.
Why are you both keeping us in the guessing and the waiting game?
Yeah, making us look stupid.
I mean, it's been wonderful. And I would like to know what is next.
Mom, you know, it's really not up to me to make that step. Seriously. I mean, Roger is the man. I'm sure he's supposed to be making that step. Mom, before I forget, I put in a word about the water contract on your behalf, so don't worry, everything is sorted out.
And blah, 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 right? So the movie cuts over to them being at the club and that a secret wedding was being arranged. Now, I left out a scene that happened earlier. I just feel like these are just filler scenes, but I'll put it here like real quick. So Doris and her friend Angel have a conversation about the boy who got stolen from her Like, you remember when I said like Doris confronted a girl who stole her boyfriend? Angel and Doris is also at the club with Beyonce, Raj, and Bobby. And she leaves the club, Angel did. She leaves the club and she calls Ciara, informing her that Raj and Beyonce are having a secret wedding. I don't know if they like announced it at the club or if this was just free information that she was able to get from somebody who was at the club, but somehow she found out they was going to be having a secret wedding, and the secret wedding happens. Nobody sees these two mysterious men come into the wedding. Nobody notices they pull out a gun, and then they shoot Beyonce for the second time. Crazy. Shoot her for the second time, which I'm sitting in. See, this is what I'm talking about. I don't know if the events of the first movie even happened for real. So I'm trying to figure out, like, did she get shot a second time? Or was the first time her getting shot was just a terrible nightmare for Raj to have? And then they had the secret wedding. Let me know what y'all think. Like, so let me know if both weddings actually happened or if the first wedding was just a nightmare and then the secret wedding was like his way of making sure that everything aligns perfectly. The only reason why I said that is because Raj do go outside at some point and he sees Ciara when he's driving, and then Ciara drives off. Beyonce's father gets informed on like what currently happened and that she got shot, and he's surprised that she got shot. And that's the part that I'm talking about, because if the events of the first two movies happened and it ended with Beyonce getting shot at her wedding outside, that would have raised alarm bells then. But you're telling me the only reason why it had alarm bells this time is because she had a secret wedding? But nobody would have known about it because it was a secret wedding, compared to her being outside in the public and she gets shot at. Everybody rushes to the hospital. Bobby shows up to be with Raj at the hospital. The father shows up. He wants all details of like what happened, and he doesn't know who Raj is. So of course Beyonce done kept this a secret from her father, and her father is like, look, if anything happens to my daughter, it's going to be on you. So he goes to see Beyonce. He gets informed that she has amnesia, and he instructs Raj to stay away from his daughter. See, and like rewatching this movie, this man tall. He's like 6'9", He low-key looks like Shaquille O'Neal. 6'9", The moment he would have told me, I want you to have nothing to do with my daughter, the way that I would be like, cool, you ain't got to tell me twice. I will leave your daughter alone. Because 6'9", looks like he is 230 pounds of muscle mass. No thank you. You want to knock my head clean off my shoulders. I don't want nothing to do with that. So if I was Raj, I would have took his I would have took that as is and said I would leave your daughter alone. And Raj and Bobby ends up leaving. Well, they don't even leave the hospital. They just go to the receptionist desk. But they end up being in that area. Raj talking about how he's mad and that he wants to stay here and he wants to make sure that Beyonce's like being taken care of, blah blah blah. I don't care if that's her dad, he can't do XYZ. Bobby, like during like with him ranting and raving out there, Bobby's quiet as fuck, and then he eventually says like, oh, maybe we should leave, maybe we should just, you know, leave it alone because the president said so.
It's unacceptable. How can I walk away knowing Beyonce's in there? How? I can't just walk away. I have to be with her. I must. Raj, please. Please. I think she's in good hands right now. Okay? And the tension is building up so high at this moment. And since the president is asking us to go, I think we should just leave. Let's just go. No. No, I can't.
Where was that energy earlier though? Bobby could have been the voice of reason within these 3 movies so far. He could have been the voice of reason for Raj to leave Beyonce alone and pursue Ciara. Regardless of what happened, leave Beyonce alone. And if anything happens to Ciara, whether she is alive, dead, or relocated to a whole different country, leave Beyonce alone, because Beyonce is a dangerous woman, which in this movie, she proves that she's a dangerous woman. So just leave her alone. he could have been that voice of reason for Raj, but no, he wasn't. Not until now, when the father pulls up and he's like, stay away from my daughter, and Bobby like, you know what, he right. During this time, Raj's sister tries to call Raj, but he's not answering the phone, so I'm guessing his phone's either dead or he got it on silent, or he just don't want to answer because he wants to be left alone. However, Raj decides to visit the doctor that stated that Ciara was no longer with them. He goes there, he has a conversation with her. The doctor's telling him he has no idea what he's talking about. Raj tells him straight up, look, Beyonce got shot, I was leaving the scene of the crime, and I saw Ciara. And the doctor's like, you saw Ciara? He's like, yes. He's like, just tell me what's going on. So the doctor caves in. Ciara was still alive. She has relocated to Canada. She was crying about how she lost Debbie. She was an orphan. She didn't have nobody else. And everything that is currently happening to her is because of a man. And the doctor was in disbelief when she said, all this over Raj, and he said, this over a man? All this over a man? And in my head, I'm like, I was the exact same way. All of the Beyonce shenanigans over a man that didn't even claim you at the beginning of it and still don't claim you after the events has transpired of Debbie and Ciara dying. Bobby, Raj, and his mother ends up having a conversation. I don't remember what the conversation was about. I'll insert the clip here. But moving from that point,
the president is saying you should stay clear of his daughter for now. And you should obey.
Mother, we're talking about my wife. We're talking about my wife.
Wife? The president is saying you should keep off his daughter for now. And you are sitting here arguing.
I need to be with Beyonce. I mean, look at the times, critical as this. Why don't you guys get it?
Raj!
The father visits Beyonce. Like, she has memory loss, but she can be discharged. However, during the same time, Raj visits Debbie's grave, and he's crying, and then like he leaves, and then he comes back later. I'm guessing a little bit later, because I'm assuming he thought Ciara was going to show up at some point, so that's why he was keeping his eye on the grave. She does show up. She's telling Debbie that she is going to have her revenge and avenge her death. I completely agree with her. Unfortunately, Debbie was just an innocent bystander whenever all this stuff was happening. Debbie had nothing to do with it. Literally, Debbie had nothing to do with what Raj, Ciara, and Beyonce's love triangle had going on. Like, low-key, it was Raj's fault because he kept jumping the fence. Like, at one point, you want to be with Beyonce because you're under the impression that Ciara's dead. And then you hop back over to Ciara when Ciara's not dead. But then Ciara's dead, and now you're hopping back over that fence to go be with Beyonce because your mama said so. But then you hop back over the fence again when you confront the doctor and you learn that Ciara is still alive. Ciara catches on to that real quick when he confronts her at the graveyard, because she tells him that basically Debbie is rolling in her grave right now because you decided ultimately that you wanted to be with a woman that not only took Debbie's lies but tried to take her life as well, which I completely agree with her on that, because
can't seem to forgive myself knowing you died in my war. A war I regret fighting. The only thing that keeps me going is the burning desire to avenge the people who killed you. I swear, Debbie.
Ciara? Promising to make everything right again.
Oh, really? Your love was the biggest mistake I made in my life.
Ciara, please, I can explain. I can explain what happened.
Oh, you can explain? Oh, go ahead, explain to Debbie. I'm sure she can hear you. How you married someone who attempted to kill me 3 times, and how you married someone who just killed her. Explain to her. I'm sure she can hear you. Oh, go on, explain. Stay away from me, Raj. Stay away from me. Let your greed and your selfishness of your mother and your sister judge all of you.
Why was Beyonce always the second option? Why was Beyonce always the rebound for you whenever Ciara was unavailable? you quickly rebound to go back with Beyonce. And again, I blame the family and also Bobby for putting that stuff in his head to go be with Beyonce. But ultimately, he could have overcome that and he could have been with anyone else. I feel like Ciara would not have been as mad at him if he would have dated somebody else. If you would have told me he went to go date Jenna from down the street instead of Beyonce, I bet you Ciara would not have been mad, because he wouldn't have decided to be with Ciara's assassin. He would have decided to be with Jenna from down the block. Like, it makes no sense. So I completely understand her being upset during the scene, because you ultimately decided to be with the woman who tried to kill her not once, not twice, but 3 times. It's revealed that Beyonce's father was talking to, I forget who it was, but he was talking to somebody about her recovery, and that they had a doctor in Canada that they could take her to for like the recovery process and everything, right? Which I thought the movie was going to end up ending in Canada, in my opinion, and not in the current country that they're in. Like, I really thought it was going to end in Canada based off of that one comment alone, because the doctor stated that Ciara was in Canada. So it's just like, dang, like Ciara got to go all the way back to Canada and take out Beyonce. He talks about the recovery, and Raj's family ends up getting visited by 2 men. Those 2 men are telling Raj that he is warranted for attempted...
You are Raj Johnson, I suppose.
Yes, I'm Raj.
You are under arrest in connection with homicide attempt.
Homicide attempt? No, you have the wrong person. I have no idea what you're talking about. Mother, please call the lawyer and tell him what is happening, because I don't even know what's happening myself. Just call him and tell him.
Murder. And I was like, you too busy listening to Bobby and your mama. Like, you were too busy listening to them in those previous 2 movies. And now look at the predicament that you got yourself into. All that could have been avoided if you would have left Beyonce alone. The movie ends with Raj being questioned by her father. The father clocked it right away, stating that, oh, it's so funny, you with my daughter for her money. Which, low-key, rewatching the movies, I don't think he was there for her money. He was there because Raj was heartbroken and easily influenced by the people around him. Therefore, his mother and Bobby convinced them to be with Beyonce. But the mother wanted the money. I would have snitched on the mama and said that I don't want none of Beyonce's money. My mama do. I don't care about that. I don't want her money. My mom wants the money, not me. And then Bobby just wants to be clouded up because he can tell people that he is friends of the husband of Beyonce, if that makes sense. And Beyonce's father was telling him that he will be getting investigated. Whoever did this is not only after her, it's somebody who's after both of you, because you are standing here in front of my face while my daughter has amnesia and she has to recover.
Your Excellency, I'm very sorry, but we didn't plan it this way.
How did you plan it?
Beyonce and I, we are very much in love with each other.
Love? Gold diggers such as you hide behind the mantle of love to cover your evil deeds. And if I discover that you are part of this whole plot, I will not forgive you.
The guy, I believe it's the security guard, and he like tells Raj, you are not allowed to leave the country without telling me. The moment that the doctor earlier would have told me that Ciara was alive and well and she lives in Canada, low-key, if I was Raj, I would have fled the country at that point. I would have fled and went to Canada to go look for Ciara. I wouldn't have to pop up in the 4th movie because I was in Canada looking for Ciara. It makes him look like a suspect if he did that. But still, I would have relocated to Canada to go find Ciara, not knowing that Ciara is already here ready to take out Beyonce for everything that she did. And that is all that I have for today's video. If you made it this far, give me a huge thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, comment down below if there's a movie that you would like for me to recap. Comment down below if you've seen these movies and which movie within this franchise is your favorite. I've had 2 different polls posted, so I am currently working on those 2 movie recaps, so be on the lookout for those in the future, and I'll see you next time.
Just as a little extra.